This week, we've got another delayed release, which found the perfect time to finally hit theaters during a pandemic spike that renders that delay completely useless. It's a movie about a video game NPC that's a non-playable character who decides he wants more out of his digital life. It's Wreck-It Ryan! Hey everybody, welcome back to Sticky Floor Friday, the internet movie show that previews what's coming to theaters each week by taking a deep dive into the history of the project, the creative team, the buzz, and the latest reviews. I'm Steve, also known as Nerd with Words, and I'm a professional television writer, games writer, and a professional nerd. And I love talking about movies, hence this channel. And this week, we're talking about Free Guy, starring Ryan Reynolds. And I talked a few months back about Reynolds' other big summer movie, Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, Hube, as I've been calling it. And while that had the benefit of coming out when people were kind of sort of starting to get back into theaters, they still weren't all that interested in that unnecessary, confusingly titled sequel. Although, I did find where that missing "the" went. And it turns out each letter cost $61.67 million to rent. To be fair, Hube has made $38 million in its theatrical run, which is more than Snake Eyes' entire run, and The Suicide Squad's first weekend. Plus, it didn't cost $185 million. But we all knew the real test of Ryan Reynolds' star power would be this week's movie, Free Guy. Except now, it's not, because box office numbers mean nothing. And that's a shame, because all joking aside about the Wreck-It Ralph comparison, or shades of The Truman Show, or Ready Player One, or Lego Movie, Free Guy is actually a much more interesting original idea than Hube, and it's a movie Ryan Reynolds is throwing his entire weight behind, much like he did to propel Deadpool to success. Say what you will about his style of humor, his cloying, self-referential smugness. When he believes in a project, he will do everything he can to will it into existence and make it a success. So, how did he get here? Well, let's take a look at Reynolds' career. I have not done this yet, so let's take a look back, shall we, to 1998, when he starred in the sitcom Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place for 2 seasons, and then also Two Guys and a Girl for 2 seasons after they got rid of the Pizza Place. And it ran for 81 episodes, that's 19 shy of the 100 required for syndication, which is why it's pretty much a distant memory for most people. It was a moderate success, and it made Reynolds a recognizable face, so much so that when the series ended, he was able to parlay that into headlining his own movie, National Lampoon's Van Wilder. And for a lot of people, this was their real introduction to Ryan Reynolds. He felt like a successor to the Jason Lee archetype you would find in a Kevin Smith movie. A character who was always gaming the system, seemed to have it all figured out, with the exception of any tangible ambition beyond life's small pleasures. Van Wilder itself is a bottom of the barrel of the tail end of the gross-out teen comedies, where they just kept pushing the boundaries of bodily fluid to grab the audience's attention. I still remember seeing this with a friend who almost threw up during a scene involving warm eclairs that I will not discuss here. It is so vile, maybe the most awful thing I've seen committed to film, and I've seen yoga hosers. Man, those early 2000s movies probably seem insanely reckless by today's standards. And Van Wilder was in 2002, a year after Freddy Got Fingered effectively nuked the gross-out comedy once and for all.
Proud.
However, as bad as Van Wilder was, it was a box office success, and Reynolds is the saving grace. He makes it watchable-ish. You can see his talent and potential, and it felt like it was only a matter of time before he found the right role that would take advantage of his skills. And then, in 2004, it happened with Blade Trinity. Okay, they were hoping it would happen with Blade Trinity. And you can tell that because the next year he had 3 movies, so everyone thought they'd be riding off that sweet, sweet Blade Trinity wave. And what he took was Waiting, Just Friends, and Amityville Horror. And while Waiting has its fans in the service industry, and Just Friends played on Comedy Central so often that everyone in America was required by law to have seen at least 10 minutes of it, he still couldn't quite break through. Until it finally happened in 2009 when he played Deadpool in X-Men Origins Wolverine, okay? All right, didn't happen there. However, it was his highest grossing movie, seen by more people than any of his previous movies, and yes, It was a dog ejaculate-filled eclair, but it gave him momentum because that year he also starred in the hit Proposal. And that's pretty much his career in a nutshell. He careens between comedy, action, comedy, action. He rarely stepped outside of that box, except for the time that he stepped inside a box and stayed there for 90 minutes for the movie Buried, where he's buried alive. I think that's an extremely effective movie, but I'm claustrophobic, so that's a nightmare scenario for me. Like, maybe I'm not the best judge. I don't even like enclosed water slides. What's worse than being in small dark spaces? Oh, I don't know, drowning in a small dark space? Anyway, Buried is worth seeing one time. But it seemed like it was all building to something. And we finally got it in 2011 with Green Lantern. Nope. Okay, sorry. Let's try that again. And then we finally get it in 2013 with R.I.P.D. Nope. Okay, sorry. Finally, okay, here we go. Finally, 2016, Deadpool. Yes, finally, Deadpool hits. And it was a hit. A massive, massive hit. And if you want to see how all in on Deadpool Ryan Reynolds was, and how much he knew this was his chance, just take a look at his IMDb. Why is every single little piece of promotional video listed in his credits? I'm assuming it's to push all the previous credits further down, so you really have to dig to find, like, Chaos Theory? Deadpool is a legit phenomenon, an R-rated superhero comedy that made $1 billion. It successfully combined action and comedy into a character that embodied everything Ryan Reynolds has been perfecting through his career. It is his defining role. Deadpool would have been my favorite movie if it came out when I was 13. It has the same snarky tone as movies I grew up with, like Wayne's World. Anytime they would wink at the camera, I was like, oh my god, my mind is blown, I can't believe it. As it stands, Deadpool is... it's probably really good for 13-year-olds. I actually like Deadpool 2 more. I thought the gags were funnier and the references were sharper. It may have taken a little longer than we thought, but Reynolds is now a megastar. It's the reason something like Six Underground is one of Netflix's most watched movies. And it's why Free Guy is one of the few big-budget movies this year that's not a sequel or based on a prior IP. Even though this is high concept, it's being sold on the Reynolds brand. The premise is almost secondary to the actor. That's how you know he's finally made it. And his character here seems to be a slightly toned down, smarmy, nice guy, which may be tolerable. It also co-stars Taika Waititi as the villain, while Jodie Comer and Joe Keery play developers who enter the game to try and save it and unlock Ryan Reynolds' free will in the process. It's directed by the first guy you would probably guess if someone asked you who directed it, Sean Levy. Levy is known for light, broad, high-concept comedies like Cheaper by the Dozen, Pink Panther, Just Married, Night at the Museums, and Real Steel. All movies that are entertaining but weightless. It's written by Matt Lieberman and Zach Penn. Lieberman gave us the animated The Addams Family and Scoob reboots, and both Christmas Chronicles. And Zach Penn is known for having a hand in lots of different superhero movies of varying quality. Oh, hey, look, Ready Player One. And the reviews are in for this, and it's almost as if they're describing Ryan Reynolds himself. Charming, self-aware, clever. He's come a long way from The Pizza Place. Thank you so much for watching, and one programming note, I'm going to be adding a feature on this channel, and I need your help. Sticky Floor Friday is going to remain, and I'll still do new movie reviews. Suicide Squad, that one's coming next week for you. But I need some things that are a little more evergreen. Like Sticky Floor Friday is very dependent on the movies that are coming out that week. And if I make a video about Snake Eyes, and nobody cares about Snake Eyes, then no one's going to watch the video about Snake Eyes. So I'm going to add new reviews of movies of any kind. And I want to take your suggestions. I want to know what movies you want to talk about and you want to see me review. Could be a movie that you love, could be a movie that you hate, could be something that you're just interested in having a discussion about. I will watch pretty much anything, whatever you want to come up with, and you don't have to pay me. This isn't a Patreon thing. Starting now, put some movies in the comments and let's see what you come up with. I'm very excited, a little scared, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun.